Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigger Than Race. Exposure to all things truth, whether you like it or not, with unique perspectives from different beings from all walks of life. This is Bigger Than Race. Investigate truth on your own terms. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bigger Than Race. You know who this is? This is your boy, Brando. All right, guys, we're going to just dive right back in because I just think I just cracked the code. I don't think I was even supposed to find this, but I found it. Now we're back over here. We're going down the rabbit hole and we're digging more deep into the documents that I just showed you here. Correspondence from Satoshi to the US government. Okay, now we ended up over here at the ProPublica. And we've been looking at all of the lobbying that has been going on in the past year. And one thing we found was this here, lobbying second quarter 2020. And the issues were lobbying for appearance of Satoshi Nakamoto to appear before the SEC, introduction of Satoshi Nakamoto to staff and appear before the Technology Committee. Okay, and then we see Technology Committee of U.S. Congress, Anthony Fauci, Mason Booth, Satoshi Nakamoto vaccine, SEC Jay Clayton appearance request on behalf of FARA, client of Satoshi Nakamoto, to appear. And then we see the names. We see his name right here in quarter 4. James, Blockchain Lobbying Issues, Blockchain Promotion Act of 2019/2020, Regulatory Certainty Act 2019-2020, to allow James Bilal Khalid Khan, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, to appear and testify before the Committee House Financial Services and House Committee on Energy and Commerce, Communication and Technology. And so when I looked up this name, it took me to this page here, Global Newswire. This did not get any traction because they didn't really want this news out there. And I really don't know if I'm supposed to be putting this out here, but I'm going to put it out here anyways. I'm sorry. I'm like Inspector Gadget. I'm Dora the Explorer. I'm Roger Rabbit. Scooby-Doo. I'm anything that's going to find you. I'm like Murder, She Wrote. We shine the light on you, baby. But I'm going to play this for you guys because this is very interesting. And this is the introduction. And then there's another video. And he's breaking down Bitcoin version 1, version 2, version 3, just like it was broken down in the previous document I showed you in the other video. Now, I highly suggest you guys go and get caught up on these videos because you're only going to see this and hear this information first. Now, that's all I got to say. Now, let's go.
Hi, my name is Satoshi Nakamoto. I created Bitcoin. I know I left Bitcoin in 2011, and it was not an easy decision for me. But in my hiatus years, I tried to help the other blockchain companies. The only thing which was lacking in that company, with all the other technology, was vision. They did not have at its core the vision to change people's lives. Bitcoin was created because of the dysfunctional financial system. I said many times that the problem with our existing financial system is the third party, trusted third party, and I did not want that in Bitcoin. My only purpose was was, is, and will be to give freedom to common man. People those think they've been left out from the society. I'm coming back to fulfill that vision where we don't have the third party. It should be peer to peer and it should benefit directly to end users. One of the reasons I created Bitcoin was my own personal experience where I was denied a bank account. I wanted to create the system for those billion people being denied by this financial system. I wanted no discrimination on the basis of color, creed, race, anything. It's your money, and you have got every right to go and spend it legally without going into bureaucracy. Paul Finney, he believed in the product. He believed that we could do something good for the humanity. This time, I need you to join us, to join me for this revolution. Because people, those are crazy enough to think they can change the world, are the ones who do. You want to do better and leave a legacy behind for our children, for our grandchildren, a better a world with freedom. And you and I, we can change that. Trust me. Join me, please. Thanks.
Wow. Now, I know it may be hard to fathom, but this YouTube channel, Satoshi Nakamoto, only has 343 subscribers. He is talking like I've seen in the documents. Not since the web itself has a technology promised a broader and more fundamental revolution than blockchain. Even the way, yes. Okay, this is crazy because I know the truth and it may be hard to fathom for individuals, but he has wanted to make his return, and I believe that his presence is being felt. And I'm showing you documentation that he is in direct communication with the U.S. government. Sometimes you can lead a horse to water, but you can never make them drink. They'll just die of exhaustion and thirst and hunger. Now, I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is the real Satoshi Nakamoto, but from research, you can find out a whole lot of things. Now, this is similar writing that I've seen. He spells blockchain, block, and then chain, two separate words. And I've seen it in documentation that I was privy to. That he spells it the same way. That's why Satoshi has returned with a three-tier approach to restore and reform his original vision for Bitcoin, blockchain, implement his new technology across 42 different industries, and create financial opportunity for all. This same thing was highlighted in the document, 42 industries. Let me even go back to show you that I'm not playing with you. Here's the 42 industries that is named. With our joint effort through our endeavor in the U.S., we will have the capacity to create huge job opportunities and revenue and to change 42 or more business paradigms inside the U.S., such as. And then he goes on to say all of these 42. Banking, hedge funds, voting, internet, identity, and DNS, cyber defense infrastructure, ride sharing like Uber, internet, advertising, blockchain exchange, education, academia, car leasing and sales, industrial, IoT, mesh network. Everything, he's naming everything that is fourth industrial revolution. Now, I believe this gentleman here, Satoshi Nakamoto, he might be from India. I've spent some time in India, and he definitely has the accent. Uh, so it's very interesting. And I believe, and look, you can see here, blockchain, how he spells blockchain, as I just showed you on that YouTube video. You see here, two separate words, blockchain. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are cracking the code. And you're only going to see it here first on Bigger Than Race. So, let's continue. Now, we see that Rulon white governance was representing and lobbying for Satoshi. So, this is Rulon white governance, all of the lobbying that they have been doing for all these other companies. Highway access and international trade zones, blockchain technology for GD, Medical Inc., MX Squared, LLC, Arizona Business and Information Tech Coalition, Vigilant Technologies, Shelton Technology, International Outdoor, Bitcoin Holdings, and Satoshi Nakamoto Renaissance. Now we see that they are a big deal. This is all going down in 2019, one in 2017. But we see that they are a big deal. So we need to look into some of these people real quick. Now this is on the Politico. Okay, let's go down here. It says Todd White of Rulon and White has registered to lobby on behalf of Bitcoin Holdings and Satoshi Nakamoto Renaissance Holdings, which list an address in London. Satoshi Nakamoto is the pseudonym of the reclusive creator of Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto Renaissance Holdings website published an interview in August with a man claiming to be Nakamoto. Jeff Garzik, who used to trade emails with Nakamoto during Bitcoin's early days, told Bloomberg News he didn't believe the man affiliated with Satoshi Nakamoto Renaissance Holdings was the real Nakamoto. Well, White will lobby. Okay, so that's different. So Jeff didn't believe that was him. But I can see, and I'm not saying this is the real Satoshi Nakamoto or if he isn't, okay? Because I need to maintain the integrity of this here channel. So I'm not going to say that it is him indefinitely. But I'm saying this could be a big what if, okay? It could be possibility. It's a what if, but it's a possibility because I mean we're actually pulling out some receipts. So Jeff Garzik, we're gonna go down. We're gonna look at Jeff Garzik, but we're also gonna look at Todd White here real quick. Todd August White, managing partner at Rulon and White Governance Strategies. Now we see here 2020 top lobbyists release. Okay, so I guess these are some top lobbyists. Let's see if we see Todd anywhere. Boom, there he is. Todd White, Rulon and White Governance Strategies. So he is top lobbyist 2020. The greatest part of my job is leading our clients to identify achievable policy goals that overlay into the larger policy debates in Washington, D.C. in fulfilling the fiduciary objective. Todd White, Rulon and White Governance Strategies, LLC. So we can see that Todd is a big deal. Managing partner, almost 10 years. Board of Directors, Bitcoin Holdings for 2019 and 2020. That must have been when he was lobbying for them. A managing director and founder, DPP Holdings LLC, did that for 8 years, almost 9 years. We can see he has a track record of longevity. Hence is why he's a top lobbyist representing Bitcoin. I mean, that's a big deal right there, ladies and gentlemen. Harvard Kennedy School. Central Michigan MBA, Central Michigan University MBA, and the Honors College at Eastern Michigan University, Bachelor of Science. So he's a smart guy. Got his FINRA, Speaker of FinTech, Senior Cybersecurity, Policy Task Force. Okay. Diversity Task Force, Staff Volunteer. All right. So that's Todd. So now we're going to go over and watch this video real quick. Because we're seeing things, but I still got to take you down the rabbit hole because we don't know if that's the real Satoshi Nakamoto. But per our findings in searching the name that we saw that was connected to the U.S. government, right here, James Bilal Khalid Khan, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, to appear and testify before the committee house. This was in 2019. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, are we talking about apples here? Or are we talking about oranges?
I'm just going to hit you with this one, John. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
Doesn't want to be known, but if you want to find out, I mean, listen, everybody knows who was involved back then in history.
Right.
You know, they got Dr. Adam Back. I mean, Craig Wright was there. A whole bunch of people were there. Who is Satoshi? Well, that's the author of the fucking white paper. I don't know if they flipped a coin, drew straws to say who wrote it. But if you want to know which one it was, run some authoring software against it because everybody involved, especially Dr. Beck, had written dozens of technical papers. Let me give you some clues. In Satoshi's white paper, every word that has dual spellings for American and British English is British.
It's all British, yeah.
It's all British. Every sentence is followed by two spaces. Now that's a minority choice in most papers, but two spaces. Now there are only two of the accused who were British, and only one of those has two spaces in every one of his papers. Figure it out, people. It will take you 15 minutes. But he doesn't want to be known. I'm not going to.
Okay, so that's what they said. Now it says Bitcoin pioneer skeptical of the latest Satoshi Nakamoto. Jeff Garzik used to exchange emails with Satoshi Nakamoto before the anonymous creator of Bitcoin disappeared years ago. He doubts Satoshi has resurfaced again. When an internet posting Sunday claimed to come from Satoshi Nakamoto and promised to reveal his or her true identity on Tuesday, Garzik read it. His verdict: the writing style does not strike me as the same, Garzik said in an interview. Now, I want to go back here real quick to Satoshi Nakamoto's YouTube channel. And I don't see double spacing here. But let me check this site here that is on there. I'm just trying to see and draw some conclusion real quick, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not going to click on it right now. Very interesting. Okay. So here, Bitcoin developer Jeff Garzik on Satoshi Nakamoto and the future of Bitcoin. This was in 2013. Jeff Garzik could be considered one of the guardians of Bitcoin. When we caught up with him, he had just finished working with others to stop a network-wide event, a DDoS attack that exploited some stray code in the reference Bitcoin client.
In light of the recent Ledger data hack and all of the crypto scams going on right now.
Sorry about that. Bitcoin.D to target certain parts of the cryptocurrency's distributed infrastructure. He became one of the core developers of the Bitcoin protocol after he began working on the project during its early days. He was involved in many of the early forum discussions with the mysterious Satoshi and even exchanged a private email or two with him. CoinDesk caught up with him to talk about Satoshi Nakamoto, the open source development community, and where the protocol is headed. One of the first things we asked him was how he viewed its current status. Bitcoin is out of its infancy and started to mature. There are increasing numbers of merchants at BitPay, and people are starting to see it as money over IP, says Garzik, speaking in his gentle North Carolina drawl. Now, we're going to go over here because I understand that there's a second white paper. It's about 80 pages, and it talks about all of the wonderful things that Satoshi wants to accomplish in this new white paper. And of course, it deals with the fourth industrial revolution, artificial intelligence, etc. But I also think it has a great deal to do with space, because if you look at it, what would be another remarkable, mind-blowing thing that if you just were to see it, you would be like, oh my God? It would have to deal with being in space. So movies predicted and have showed us what they want to do with the movies like Elysium. You know, they have communities up in space. I mean, think about the Jetsons. Think about all this different stuff. This is where we're headed. Now, think about SpaceChain. Jeff Garzik is over here at SpaceChain. Now, I've done a deep dive on SpaceChain for my Patreon group. It's remarkable what they are doing in regards to everything space. We are going to be the real life Jetsons. Well, if you'll be a Jetson if you're a have. If you're a have not, you will not be a Jetson. But that's up to you. But let's continue here. Bitcoin and space. I want you to check out what they're talking about with these satellites, because these satellites are going to be storing information from the US government, from these companies, artificial intelligence, the data. It's going to be stored up in space. I mean, because if it's stored on the ground, all of this information can be taken. It can be hacked of some sort. It's too risky to keep it on Earth. Because how many robbers are just going to rent a spacesuit and start floating up to goddamn space? Not many of them. Yeah, I'm about to go rob space. Whoop, 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 whoop. You see the robber with a little pistol and a little astronaut helmet. And he floating, ready to rob. It's crazy. So that's why they have to go to these measures. It's honestly a remarkable thing. I mean, you know, people have different views and perspectives, but I think you got to keep an open mind. Now, let's listen.
California-based Bitcoin wallet provider Zappo has announced the launch of...
Sorry, let me go back.
Hi there, I'm Ruth Gill, and you're watching CoinDesk's News Roundup for April 25th. This week, we said our final goodbye to Mt. Gox as a company as bankruptcy proceedings were announced in Japan. The troubled exchange officially filed for liquidation last week. A group of investors made a last-ditch attempt earlier this week to stop the company from being liquidated, but a deal never materialized. Bitcoin core developer Jeff Garzik announced a partnership with a company called Deep Space Industries to launch Bitcoin satellites into space. The satellites, called BitSats, will act as a backup of the Bitcoin blockchain. California...
So, listen to what she just said, you know. Satellites, they will be storing the information. Hence is why we now come to SpaceChain, because SpaceChain has some interesting things going on over there. I mean, I really was mind blown when I did the research. Now, I'm not too sure why this site is acting up. Now, the SpaceChain site is acting up. I don't know what's going on with it, but I basically just wanted to show you what they had going on in regards to space. I just wanted to draw the connection to Jeff Garzik, who was working with uh, Satoshi Nakamoto in the earlier days of Bitcoin as a developer. And I just want to pinpoint to everything that we're now seeing in the documents to the US government and the 42 industries that Satoshi wants to help change. And I know that is going to also involve space. So I believe that there's some connection there. And I think I want to show you this other interview with supposedly Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the same guy uh, that we have found his name in documents connecting to the government and appearing before. And his name is again James Bilal Khalid Khan, aka Satoshi Nakamoto. And now you guys can also do your own digging, just in case you don't believe me or you want to start calling me crazy. I'm doing the research right in front of you, and I'm showing you. This is not out on the internet, not on YouTube. These documents are really hidden right now, but I'm here bringing them to you. So let's look at this interview real quick.
Talk about this project that you're so excited about, Tabula Rasa.
Thanks for asking that because I'm really excited for it. Tabula Rasa has got 3 tiers. The first tier I intend to implement in 2020.
I just want to say these tiers were highlighted in the document, in that government document that I brought you. And I'll show you it again too.
Which has got restoration of Bitcoin, Bitcoin V1, Bitcoin V1 wallets, Bitcoin V1 miners network, and Bitcoin V1 investors network, as well as reaching to all the college students, the deserving people, because that's what matters for me, which is to reach out to common people and create a new market.
You referred to the vault, and that will be part of Tier 1. And one of the reasons for the vault is it will prevent what happened to you. It'll prevent it from happening to anybody else. Is that so?
That's right. So the vault will be, from going from Tier 1 to Tier 2, where you have got a storage space. It's more likely a bank locker, but where your money is safe. You're not worried about that it will be stolen. You are not worried about it will be lost. Your hard drive is crashed. It's more likely cloud, but on the same time, you don't have to worry that somehow it will crash, like what happened with me. So that way, if you want to keep it in a secure space, we will provide you a very easy step. A few 1, 2, 3 steps where you can save that all in one place.
Tell us about Tier 2.
Tier 2 is really for me important as much as the Tier 1, because Tier 2 what it's going to do is it's going to provide that mentorship which I had once from How, to make sure that the new company that come in with the guidance, they can join in and the network where they actually receive help, the guidance, as well as the users, those have got the credibility. They can join in and their money will not, be lost. Bitcoin SNR is the one which will have the new face of the technology. Those I saw revolutionary, but those were not, those could not excel. As well as P2P marketplace, which will actually fulfill my vision, which was always P2P, peer-to-peer, as well as SNR Pay and SNR wallets, which is a normal person can use anytime, any crypto, and you don't have to worry that they are using crypto or cash.
So in Tier 2, you talk about SNR Pay. What are some of the benefits of that, and what does that really mean?
SNR Pay and SNR wallets. These both are very much designed to reach to common man, to people those at this one point in time are not using crypto wallets as like their day-to-day usage, whether it's going from shopping, buying normal stuff like milk or anything like this. So SNRP and SNR wallets, they will play a pivotal role in people not to be bothered about whether they are using crypto or not. It will be just for them, cash.
And then there's tier 3.
Tier 3 is something which is bigger than the first even 2 tiers, because that's operating system we are talking about, which is fully AI enabled. I'm building an operating system which is for the secure future. You don't have to know all the technical bits. That was the exact vision with Bitcoin. People they did not realize. But my main thing is to make it easier for everyone and secure on top of it. So my this operating system will you utilize it for the crypto community, non-crypto community, doing your daily transactions, your daily banking, or in the industry, different industries, from banking industry and financial industry to the fashion industry.
These are all industries that were mentioned in that the document that Satoshi mentioned, the 42 industries. Of course, there's a little more detail in this as well. It's a little differently laid out. But you can definitely see the comparison.
Want to transform people's life, not to go into gigahertz and megahertz, not to go into POW or POS, not to go into crypto or non-crypto. I want people's life better. And how would you do it? When you make things easy. The GUI was the revolution for people, and the OS will be the revolution again, which will not see that only programmers can work on them. You just ask and things happen.
You want to bring back Bitcoin so where it can apply to the common man, which was the original thesis. And you've developed a phrase that you might be able to elaborate a little bit on. Easier than cash, better than card. What does that exactly mean?
It should be that you are carrying a card or an app. If you don't have a mobile phone, especially the developing countries, if they don't have the app, that's all right. You can carry a simple card which can carry all your Bitcoin, B1, and on top of it, you can spend it anywhere. And if you want to carry with a mobile phone with an app, all your credit cards will be in there. They will be connected, as well as you don't have to worry about that. One day you will lose your cards or money. It's everything is in one wallet. If the person is sitting in Pakistan or India and the kid is sending money from America, they don't have to worry about all the fee and stuff and security. So everything will be done through one app and card. So you are connecting actually people's lives, making their lives better, and that's what my return is about.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now all I can do is do the research and show you what I'm seeing. And this is what I'm seeing. I don't know if this is him. But why is this name and then this guy popping up on these government documentation? Now, this video is 34 minutes already, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue down this rabbit hole. I promise I'm going to try to bring you as much truth as I possibly can find. But keep in mind, we don't know if this actually is Satoshi Nakamoto. We're going to say if. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who this is. This is your boy, Brando. Investigate truth on your own terms.